Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? You guys piling quick, bright and early. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday morning. Um, I'm having a good Tuesday evening. So yeah, good morning, Jay Linder. Good morning, Bill. Good morning, Nuavaris. Good morning, family. Good morning, Win. Good morning, Chuck. How's it going? Definitely looking forward to some fun trades today. Today, I mean, for those of you that have signed in super early, bright and early, I really want to show you the power of support and resistance. So I was doing this mentorship yesterday, and I had drawn out these lines for them based on the hourly chart. And this is just the Qs. I mean, you could look at it as the Qs or NQ. And so I said, all right, let's zoom out a little bit. We broke this support, obviously. We're going to go down a little bit and then come back down here and bounce. And I mean, can you really make this up? Like, how cool is this? We went maybe 10 points lower. So if you had an entry over here with your stop probably somewhere down here, you would have still made money. But I just wanted to show you how cool support and resistance levels are, right? And they work all the time. So don't ignore them at all, especially in overnight trading. I think it's just wonderful. So yeah, Win says, beautiful. Thanks. Yes. Good morning, Rock. Good morning, guys. It's going to be an exciting day today. So needless to say, obviously we have this head and shoulders over here on the Qs. And I'm not, I've been open-minded about trading bullish and bearish in both directions. But today I feel like we're just going to, it's a choppy Tuesday. We're going to do something like this, where we just kind of chop around for a little bit, maybe come up to this resistance level and then get rejected. But at open, I'm watching for either this level to be taken out or this level to be taken out. Because if that level gets taken out, then we've lost that support also, right? And then we're going to go a little bit lower. So that's what I'm watching out for. This is on smaller time frames. Now let's go look at the Qs on the daily time frame and see what we can come up with. Baidu and you are some nice gap and goes. Let's look at that. Chuck says you can be bullish too. Sometimes, believe it or not, even today I found a bullish chart, which I think is amazing. If if the markets take a turn to go bullish, I think Uber is the one that we should go long on. It's looking pretty good for a day trade, specifically for a day trade. All right. So this is the Qs on the daily. Now, guys, I want to point out that there have been multiple daily 10 EMA setups on the daily charts, larger time frames. Things are kind of looking pullback-ish. They're not looking like, oh, we're going to drop and collapse, but we're definitely pulling back. And I think it's good that we're pulling back. So the Qs don't really have that 10 EMA set up, but this was an indecision candle. We made our decision pretty darn clearly. So I think today could be a retest candle. What happens when we just, drop? Normally we retest and then roll over and then continue, right? So today I do feel like we're just going to retest a little bit of this area, which coincides, believe it or not, with our blue line or purple line on NQ. So this coincides with that area, and I feel like we could roll over. So 360.40 is my level to be watching out for. Essentially just, this guy right here. And if we can get up there at open, I'm looking for a rollover from there. So that's what my plan is. Now let's go look at SPY real quick. And I want to show you something really fun on SPY before we go look at anything else. So SPY, we have had this. I'm not particularly in this trade, but I wish I was. I'm not in this trade specifically, but SPY has the 10 EMA play, right? And on the daily, and you would have gotten filled yesterday. I still feel like you'll have that chance to get filled today if we kind of retest a little bit more. than needed. But, this is definitely a setup that everybody should take. We're nice and high up there. We could pull back. A lot of other things are looking pullbackish also. So, and this is one of those trades that could run down quite a bit, perhaps go fill this gap. So yeah, you could make pretty decent money on this one. So yeah, try to get filled on this one. I'm not in this yet. I just had too much bear risk. So I took other trades, which I'll go over also for a swing trade, and then we'll talk about this. So let's go look at, it's the Mets, really? Oh, geez. All right, let's go look at, somebody said, you and another one are good gap. Ooh, Unity Software. What's the news over here? Because this is a beautiful gap and go. I like this gap and go. Do we know what the news is? Doesn't really show me over here. Oh, here. It's, well, Wells Fargo's just calling it overweight. Anyway, whatever the news is, I think write it open. I don't even want to wait to buy the dip on this. I think just write it open. If we have one bear candle, go long above it. This is a pretty decent gap and go. I think 42.15 is easily achievable on this gap and go. Don't like that there's all of this, just a little tiny bear volume over here, but all of these bears are going to be afraid. So they might want to close out their shorts. That's all I can tell you. Who was the other one that had the gap and go? Hold on. Oh, it's the AI news. Okay, great. All right. Oh, and then they're calling it with 48 as the price target. Okay, cool. That makes sense. All right. Baidu was the other gap and go. Let's look at Baidu real quick. Yeah, but just buy the dip. One red candle on a 1 minute chart at open. I think long above that could definitely work. Yep, like this gap and go on Baidu also. The only problem is, even with Unity, my only problem really is that it's not really big bear volume candles. I mean, if it was like this with a gap and go, I'd be like, yep, let's go long, right at open. The way I look at it is not very many people are harmed by this sudden move up. So we may not get that push that we want. I mean, I'm sure at open we'll get some push, but it's not going to be as intense as maybe on a day like this with a gap and go. That's just my only hesitation. So pick one of the two. Don't do both. I would say pick Unity because it's got that AI pump to it. I would like that a little bit more than this guy. But yeah, I like them both. Just pick one of the other. Don't pick both. Yeah. That's all for this guy. Somebody said Delta Airlines and Snow. Let's go look at Delta Airlines. I haven't looked at Delta. I'm like, oh, whoa. Delta looks just like Uber. So yes, some of these things are also going higher, which is awesome. Maybe the markets will get that retest today. Just sector rotation, but yeah. Delta's looking good. It's going to be a retest gap if it opens like this. I would say just be cautious going long Delta. I feel like after these many days in a row of bullishness, I mean, what if you were an investor in Delta? What if you were a swing trader over here? The minute we put a higher high, aren't you taking partials? I feel like that's what's happening over here. And that's what could happen. And it's also coming into some serious resistance levels also. So just be careful going long this thing. I would be much more interested in going short this thing. So that's just my 2 cents. I wouldn't touch it long specifically. I would want it short. But oh, Delta has investor conference at 10 o'clock today. Okay, cool. So before 10, what I'd be watching for is a pullback, just in case, some crew is a little bit afraid of what's going on at the conference or whatever. We may see a little bit of pullback and then see what they say at the conference at 10 o'clock and then make your decision based on that. You don't want to go long just blindly on this guy. It's just too many green days in a row. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, the RSI is super high. So I would watch out for a pullback more than anything else. All right, let's go look at snow real quick. Snow. These are some cool tickers that I have not looked at for today. In my preparation today, I had some really, I mean, just the common generic ones that we look at all the times, but yeah. Okay, cool. Snow. Looks good for either a long or a short. Nothing super exciting about this. I would, I'd be super excited on snow if this thing was gapping down over here, or if this thing was continuing down over here. I feel like if we take out this guy right here, if we take out 183.25-ish level, we are going to go higher and continue higher with this as my first target. Just cause it will be a failed inverse head and shoulders. So usually when we have the failed peak, we normally go retest the head, which has just always happened in my opinion. So I feel like if we fail this head and shoulders, then, like if this peak fails and we take this out, then we're going to go higher. So that's just what I would hope for. As far as a day trade's concerned, I'd just be really, really cautious. It's in this choppy zone. I mean, it's in this resistance support area. So I wouldn't just put in too much on this unless we get some clear territory. So long above here, short below here. Short below here could be really juicy. Guys, be careful with this guy. I mean, short below here could very well land you to here. And that would be interesting for sure. So that's a pretty decent target. Could be a cool swing trade. Just keep an eye out for this. Add alerts over here and here. Okay, cool. Consumer confidence numbers at 10 a.m. Great. What could go wrong? Really, what could go wrong? Awesome. Let's go look at some of our usual suspects. Tesla with a massive drop yesterday. So I'd been talking to some of the mentorship students about Tesla, and ideally the way I look at it is this was a dip that got bought up, and if we pull back, maybe do a double bottom, but under no circumstances we should be taking out this level, right? This pivot level should not be taken out, and we did. So yesterday I got filled on my swing trade on Tesla, and I mean, it's looking good so far. My stop is at a decent place. I can't really complain about this stop. It's looking good so far. I'm really excited about this trade on Tesla. If it's going to work, it's going to work really quickly. And if it's not going to work, then I'll get stopped out. But this is going to be a pretty quick swing trade, in my opinion. So that's all I'm hoping for. For day trade today, if you're wanting to day trade this thing today, just know that yesterday we had a pretty monstrous candle. I mean, this is a pretty big range on Tesla. So today could just be, I mean, unless the consumer confidence numbers are bad or great or whatever, and the market moves in one direction or the other, today could just be a very small inside candle, perhaps a day like this. Right? That's what I think is going to happen on Tesla, but it will be a green day. So maybe it'll give you a chance to get filled on your swing trade if you want to get filled, if that's an option, if you guys want to do this. On a 4-hour, Tesla's got a beautiful head and shoulders. I mean, this is picture perfect. So I like this a lot. I like this setup a lot. Today, I feel like we're just going to get that retest and then maybe a rollover. So the level that I'm watching out for Tesla is 250, 248, 249 level. Just somewhere around this zone is what I'm watching out for. If we show weakness around those areas for a day trade, today would be a pretty cool rollover kind of day on Tesla. Keep an eye out for that. Definitely keep an eye out for that. Another trade that I did do is AMD that I got filled on, and it's almost to the target. Now I'd be really mad if this thing wants to retest again. I'm hoping it doesn't retest again, but I'm in this trade bearish, and the idea, same exact thing again. This double top with divergence, with, we're kind of extended high RSI divergence area, and we level out. So on this day is when I got filled on AMD. It's almost to my target. I don't know if I should just take it or leave it. I'll just leave it. But I still feel like it's going to come back and retest this neckline. So you still have chances of getting filled before it rolls over quite a bit. I'm just a different kind of swing trader. I don't like being in swing trades too long. So these are my kind of trades that I enjoy a lot, and that's what I prefer. So yeah, it's just a preference thing. Okay, cool. Cindy says CIRCOR. I have not. Hold on. Just 1 second. Whoa. What? This is not something that I look at regularly, but this is a pretty crazy inverse head and shoulders, and no retest, very little volume, very little movement, not volume, very little movement. And then we're gapping up. That's insane. Cindy, if I were you in this, I would be looking for profit taking amongst these guys, because we're gonna come back and retest this level. So I'm not gonna go short. I wouldn't want to go short this thing because it's in a absurd move up, but I don't know if I want to go long either. So this is something you just sit back and watch. This is kind of like those GME kind of moves. I don't know what's going on here. Let's go look at, okay, announced it accepted a proposal from KKR to increase the price. I see. Oh, I see. Okay. It barely does 100K in volume. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, now I get it. Now this move is justified. All right, let's go look at some of the other tickers that you guys are requesting before I just ramble off to CVS and Walgreens Boot Alliances. Let's go look at CVS first. Oh man, these things are really beat up bad, huh? Oh no, this is a pretty nasty gap and go. What happened to CVS? See, this, my friends, I like a lot more than Unity and the other thing that we looked at. Now, I have a reason for it. Unity only had 2 bear candles in a row. Not because this is a bearish trade that I like a little bit more, but Unity only had 2 candles in a row. This has previously, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles. So 5 or 6 days of buyers trapped. This thing is going to come straight down here. And I mean, write it open. It's not really going to wait for anybody. So definitely be cautious trading this. I say, let's wait for, I'm going to add CVS to my list. I like the way it's looking right now. Let's see what happens around CVS. I'll scoot it up a little bit and let's see what happens at open. I'm going to look for a bear candle and then a bull candle and then a rollover from there. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's go look at WBA. They had earnings today and I'm assuming not great earnings. Ooh. This is nasty for this inverse head and shoulders. You know, this is not looking good. Obviously, let's go look at it on the weekly chart. I don't know if this is going to be a buy the dip kind of event. I mean, it's gapping down into some pretty serious support level right now. I would say instead of shorting this right at open, which it could very well go down, but this is a pretty big gap for a ticker that's, you know, $30. It's gapping down into some support. Otherwise, we have this level at 21. I would say instead of going short today, see if there was put premium at 21 or 22 level. Expiring in about 2 to 3 weeks. That's where I think I would bet my money instead of shorting this guy today. Because it's a pretty big gap and go on the daily. I get it. I know there's a lot of other people trapped, but I like CVS a lot more than this guy. I feel like CVS has a little bit of room to go run down. a little bit more than this guy. I don't know if this is just going to fade at open or continue to roll down. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant on this. Another trade that I truly, truly loved is Amazon had a pretty intense bearish engulfing candle. So keep an eye out for, I will definitely be watching Amazon today. It had a somewhat of an inside, it's not exactly an inside candle, but it had somewhat of an inside candle, a pretty big bearish engulfing candle the day after. It's got this divergence also on Amazon. And I feel like a bear trade definitely is in the play today. Or if it manages to take out certain levels, then maybe tomorrow a bull trade is in play. But I feel like today we're gapping up. Well, we're opening around a certain region where we can roll over from. So definitely keeping an eye on Amazon. Google is another one that I missed so bad. Oh, what a big regret on Google. This is just sad. But I had this pivot level on Google. Drawn out. I mean, I had an alert and I was going to get filled on that level, but I guess my alert went off, and in my travel to India, I just kind of missed this trade completely altogether. But yeah, beautiful daily head and shoulders. We took out a pivot level, bear divergence. I feel like Google's headed to fill this gap. I feel like we've talked about this the previous Tuesday also, right? I mean, it's looking pretty decent for that pull down. So I'm kind of mad that this happened, but also I have too much bear risk on the table right now. Another fun thing I wanted to show you guys. So this is just for my bull traders. I don't mean to scare you guys, but I just want to point out these certain bear indications, you know, certain things that I always look out for before entering a bear trade. Super high RSI on Appy. Here is some severe bear divergence also right there. And we have bearish engulfing candle. On Apple, I would be watching out for this pivot level. Anything below here, we're going to continue to come down till 177 and then maybe this gap fill area. So just keep an eye out for Apple also. These are the things that I look out for always for reversals, and they're all indicating reversals. If Apple reverses, we all know everything else reverses, right? So just keep an eye out for it. Just watch out for it. Great internet from India. I know I'm at my dad's office right now, so and that's got good internet. So it's in the city, it's mid-city, so it has proper cell phone receptions and all of that. I live like in the boonies, so at home I don't have internet. It's just awful. Okay, cool. So let's look at Netflix. This is a trade that I don't have filled yet, but I could do it if I wanted to. I just have too much bear risk, and I'm kind of afraid that I have too many bear trades open all at once, bear swing trades open all at once, and I don't want to get caught up in that. However, if you have bear risk available and you want to throw half an hour at it, this is something that could definitely work out. Netflix is looking pretty good for a bear swing. So I definitely like this trade a lot. For a day trade today, it is one of the weaker ones. You see how like other tickers are gapping up midway, at least the body of the candle. This guy is not really exactly gapping up too much. I would wait for a day trade today. I would wait for a pull down to the 20 EMA and then a rollover to the upside, see what kind of retest we get. Oftentimes we forget that when we have a pull down, what kind of retest do we get? Do we have a pretty big retest, pretty dramatic retest, a V-bottom recovery, or do we just have a whatever, not so great retest and then roll over? If we have a not so great retest, this is going to be an excellent short today. This is really, really good for a short. So if we do something like this at open and then we do a foo-foo retest, definitely watch out for a rollover. I'd be looking for a 10 EMA play over here. definitely on Netflix. Netflix is pretty high up on my list. I'll scoot it up right after CVS, and then Google is also pretty bearish. Now let's go look at bullish trades. Okay, let's go look at what's coming bullish. Uber had a pretty decent gap up. I think earlier was opening over here. Uber also is just like the other ticker that we looked at, Airbnb. But I do want to show you this. No, was it on Uber? No, it was on Airbnb. Anyway, Uber has a pretty good potential. If the markets run up, Uber can run up. It's gapping up quite a bit. It's looking good. I feel like for day trade, this is definitely looking good. Airbnb was another one that I wanted to show you guys, I think, on the weekly chart. Yep. This is my favorite ticker so far on Airbnb. I mean, Airbnb, it's just, I'm really looking for this level to get taken out. This is a pretty spectacular inverse head and shoulders. This gets taken out. This would be a weekly 10 EMA setup also with a target of 178. That's what I'm hoping for on Airbnb. So I will be looking for a bullish trade around this region. Swing trade. It's going to be a swing trade. It's not going to be a day trade. Swing trade for sure. Aside from that, there was not much happening on day trading level. I don't really like this gap too much. I feel like we take this guy out, we can continue down. But if this was, you know, a pretty big full-bodied bull candle, then I would like it a little bit more. But it's not. So whatever. It's not anything super exciting. I mean, ideally we could pull down a little bit. But oh well, nothing exciting. Another exciting ticker that I loved for day trade today is Microsoft. Microsoft, my friends, is looking good right now for a pullback. I put this channel up just to show you guys how far of a range we have on Microsoft. We can still pull back all the way to 320. And, you know, the longer we take, the lower we go. But yeah, well, we do have room to pull back down on Microsoft. So I'm going to be watching out for a pullback on this guy. I'm sure on a 4-hour, there's a head and shoulders. Yeah, there's a head and shoulders right there. And we're kind of sort of opening right into those levels. So I really like Microsoft for a touchdown of this level at 320. And that's a pretty big range. I mean, that's 10 points. So, you know, I would do something like this for those of you that will not be in the live room. So something like this with my stop here and my target at 320-ish. So yeah, roughly about 1.3 risk to reward kind of thing for a day trade today. I think it could, I mean, if markets get rollovery, then this will definitely come back down. And I think we could get to those levels. So that's what I'm watching out for on Microsoft. Let's see, any other tickers that you guys put out there? Bull gap and go on SAYS. I'm pretty sure this is not the ticker that you want me to look at. Oh, okay. All right. Stratus. Okay, this guy, let's look at this guy. How are you guys coming up with these bull gap and goes? Ooh, this is a pretty decent bullish gap and go. I like this. Because the way I look at it is we had this inverse head and shoulders, we retested it quite a bit, and now we're just gapping up. All of these bears are going to want to get out. This is a pretty decent gap and go. Yep, I don't know what the volume looks like on the daily, but yeah, look at the weekly chart, inverse head and shoulders at support. This is a pretty decent, my money would be on the bullish side anyway on this. I would not want to short this, but yes, I like this. At open, I think what I want to do is maybe wait for a little bit more of a pullback and then get it going and see if we can take off from there. All right, YouTube land, I hope you have gotten some useful information about day trading today. Give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so. I will see you guys next